Hello there, Michael here, and let's talk about leading remote and hybrid teams. Now, a lot of companies and a lot of managers, they're used to managing in the office. They're used to seeing everybody face to face. And now that everybody's trying to communicate through these tiny little webcams and these screens, they find that communication is difficult, that they feel that the culture is suffering. They feel that people are uninspired and unmotivated. They find that performance is sometimes slipping and that their team's health is in question because they don't have that management by walking around. They don't have that face-to-face contact. And they know something's wrong. They know they have to make changes, but they don't exactly know what it is. Now, I get it. It's difficult. But the good thing is there's a solution for every single thing that you're dealing with. And how do I know that? Well, I'm a technology guy. I have a technology background. I've worked for some large software companies, and I've been working remotely for over 20 years. In fact, I founded 3 software companies in my life, and they were all either hybrid or virtual. They were either all hybrid or fully virtual. And in fact, one company that was hybrid, where 2/3 of our company worked remotely, we won the #1 best place to work. So I'm here to tell you that there is hope. Have some faith out there because we can get you there. The issue is there's so many tools and skills and techniques you need to know for managing hybrid and managing virtual teams. And I realized that I had a lot of them, so I literally wrote the book on it. And what I want to do is I want to make sure you have all of what you need and your managers have what they need to really be successful, because again, it absolutely is possible. So what you're going to see now is you're going to see my show reel. And just to get an idea of my content delivery, whether I'm in person or virtual or whatever, and get a little bit more about my background. And if you do want to empower and upskill your managers and leaders with the ability to create high-performing remote and hybrid teams, stick around after that, because what we'll do is we'll talk about the next steps to help me help you and your team to really get to where they need to go, not just for the organization, not just for the team, but actually for each and every individual person that's a member of your organization.
I was a horrible leader, and it became a problem in my business life, in my personal life, for my mental health, my emotional health.
My business partner punched me in the face. And that's only the second worst thing that happened to me that week. But I realized that was the greatest gift that I've ever been given. Because I realized in this life that if you want to go far, if you truly want to go far, you have to look in. So if you want these changes on the external part of your life, it starts with what's inside.
Successful leaders aren't created by accident. If you need to build high-performing teams, scale a company, and make a bigger impact, then there's no better choice than to bring in our Michael Anderson.
So I'm going to teach you the 3 shifts that I had to learn to transform myself as a leader. And it's the same 3 shifts that I teach, like Karen said, SAP, Microsoft, Uber. It's the same 3 shifts that everybody that I've worked with, the tens of thousands of business owners I've worked with over the last bunch of years, learned to shift them into really, really effective leaders.
He has first-hand experience as a successful business leader through starting, scaling, and exiting 3 of his own enterprise software companies, one of which landed on the Inc. 5000 list and won the #1 best place to work.
My businesses started to flourish because I was making connections with my employees. I was really getting to know them. I created a great culture. We created these amazing relationships with our customers. We were giving back to the community. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I like making money. Money's fun, and I'm a competitor. And I want to create something special. I want to create something, again, for my employees, my customers. That's really important to me. And it's like I found it. I found that system.
Michael has taught and mentored leaders from all different sizes of businesses. Stanford University has brought him in to work with their startup ecosystem, and large firms like PwC, Microsoft, and Salesforce bring him in to turn their managers into strategic leaders. He's a former radio show host, is a featured contributor to Entrepreneur.com, has written 2 best-selling business leadership books, and was named Social Entrepreneur of the Year. While remote presenting may be new to some, Michael has been delivering virtually for the past decade. His unique method for achieving high levels of participation, engagement, and excitement gets rave reviews from attendees and meeting professionals alike. To empower, activate, and inspire your leaders, bring in our Michael Anderson and get them on the right track right now.
Thank you.
Now that you learned a little bit more about me, what my background is, what my delivery style is, and a bit more about my content, I also wanted to let you understand what working with me looks like, because everything's been designed for you to get the most value out of an engagement with us. The three delivery types I have are keynote speeches, and that can be done in person, virtual, or hybrid, as well as master classes, which are very short, powerful classes, as well as longer training engagements. And again, all of them can be done in person, virtual, or hybrid. And just one little note is I am American, but I do live in London, so I travel out of the UK. So that's a question that often comes out. Now, if you're looking for somebody to come in and help your organization like that, let me talk about the three different phases that we would go through to potentially work together. Because the first phase is called the pre-engagement phase. And that's really where we want to start out with the intro conversation. So what we want to do is get on the phone together and talk about, again, it could be a phone or a Zoom or a video call or whatever it is, and talk about just the overall basics. And the goal of the intro conversation is, should we have more detailed conversations going forward? Is this a potential good fit? You can give me the dates and times that you want to have your event. I can see if that's going to fit in my diary. We will talk about your overall pricing and budget. I'll tell you what the fees are. You can tell me what my budget is. We'll see if there's a match there. And then you can also talk about your overall goals for that's in your organization and your team and for the event. And we can see if that's a good match as well. And if it is, then we can set a time to talk more and get into more detail. Because the next step after the intro conversation is really to do some goals mapping. That's what I call it, because you have goals for this event, but you also have team and organizational goals. And what I do, because again, I know you're running a business and you want to get the most out of it, is we take your goals, both again from the tactical level, the event level, as well as the strategic goals, and make sure what I'm delivering is going to match and really going to help support all of those different objectives and strategies. And that's why we're going to make sure, that's why you can get so much value out of an engagement with me. Now, in the proposal, and then the last thing is the proposal stage. I'll give you a proposal where everything's going to be very transparent, and you're going to see everything that's going to be laid out for the event. Now, once we commit and get the proposal signed off on, then we move into the main content delivery phase. And for this, we might have some pre-event activities. So even though we have this event that everybody's getting ready for, we want to get as much excitement and everything and do things pre-event so that we can get things ready for an amazing event. And what this might be, and so I have 3 different best-selling books, so you might want to give one of my books out to the attendees, and that can be on paperback, that can be ebook, that can be audiobook, that can be a combination of those. What some organizations do is they customize the book. And what that means is maybe that is your logo down on part of the book. We can do things on the back cover. We can have your CEO write an introduction. So we can really make it personal to your organization and to your team and to your event. And that then they have something, whether it's physical or something to listen to, that gives them additional value to get them excited about it. Also pre-event, we can do something like an interview. I can interview one of your executives. They can interview me. I can do some teaser videos. I can write a blog or an article. We can do a survey or a study with you and your organization of what's happening right now, so we can refer to that during the event. And we can mix all of this with social media. Now, when the event comes, when the fun time comes, hopefully you're getting a sense of me through my show reel and things that, I really try to match. I really try to tell some stories. I try to put some fun in there, maybe tell a joke or two, hopefully get people laughing, as well as bring the psychology and neuroscience. So to me, I always want to give stories, have some fun, and have people leave with some takeaways. And that's why I turn everything into tools and techniques at the end. And I talk about how people's mind works, because I talk so much about mindset. And so they really leave with some self-reflection, understanding themselves better, and understanding what they need to do to be a better leader and to create a better organization and better teams. Now, And what I also do is when I present, I also like to make sure that they're seeing things tailored for their individual industry or team. And so that's why we want to have some calls together so that I can use your lingo, your vocabulary, maybe bring in some industry specific examples, etc., because that's going to land much better, and they're gonna feel much more connected to me as we go through that. And also, when I share my stories, I'm very vulnerable. I talk about my successes. I also talk about my failures. And so that's important to a lot of people because, it's there to show you that we all go through this journey of leadership together. And again, the goal is to drive real change. And again, we can do this in person, remote, or hybrid. Now, post-event, so now that we did this amazing event, we still want to keep that great momentum. And so we can have the traditional feedback or the surveys post-event. We can do, there's different post-event conference calls and webinars we can do. So maybe they learn some great things in a couple weeks or a month. We want to do things where we check in with everybody and they get direct access to me, get any questions answered so that they integrate it into their everyday life. I can do some follow-up videos or audios or written content that they can get to, again, further integrate what they learn in the event into their life. And then I also have different training and a very somewhat famous mastermind and coaching, which is a little deeper. So if you're interested in that during our intro call, we can talk about that as well. The last thing I'll talk about is I am very used to doing virtual presentations. And with virtual presentations, there's so many different ways that we can do to bring interactivity in. I can do interactivity both in my in-person event and the hybrid ones, but I think it's especially important in virtual ones to get people engaged, to get people talking, to get to keep people really connected to the message. So I got all this covered. I've been doing this for a long time and we got some great stuff for you. And I really love what I do. So again, if what I talked about here is interesting to you, click, do whatever it is, reach out. Let's have that introductory conversation so that we can really give your leaders, managers, and executives the support and tools that they need to be successful, not just now, not just in the medium term, but really for the long term.